Hey, how you guys doing? Hold on. Gotta make sure that this is connecting. One second. There we go. Okay, now we're connected. Alright, hey guys, how you doing? Let's just move this a little bit. There we go. Let's do our game. We'll do Wesley So's game versus Karyakin, number 7. Let me write that down so I don't forget that. We're gonna be doing 8 tomorrow, which will be fun, won't it, guys? Let's get us some soda. Okay. So Wesley is, oops, I just gotta move that back just a little bit. There we go. So it fits. Sergi is white and Wesley's black. So let me turn the board because we're doing it from Wesley's side. And so when it's Sergi's time, we'll do it from his side. Because it's gonna look like we're doing the same games. We probably will be doing the same games because the same players face each other. So, but we're gonna talk about it from Sergi's side instead of Wesley. But we're also gonna talk about the ideas of Sergi Kiriakin as well. So, D4 was played, knight f6 by Wesley, and c4. Wow. Nimzo Indian. The Indian game. That's what was played by Sergi, and so e6, and then now it's the Nimzo Indian, which is really popular with grandmasters. Before it was played, which is correct. E6, which makes some sense if you think about it, because it's preparing for this attack, and it's also preparing to take, and then branch out with f4 if you think about it. So Wesley Castle. So he's actually, if you think about it, Wesley's fulfilled principles of castles, develop your pieces, castle, and then control the center. So Sergi plays knight f3, d5 for Wesley, bishop d3, and the proper move is actually bishop e7, and then it takes, and it says take with the pawn because that makes practical sense of it's opening up the bishop. And so now it's really odd. It kind of looks similar to almost a French in some aspects, that potentially if there was a bishop here, the bishop would come back and block. So French, a little bit of French similar, but the bishop isn't there, so it's not. c5 was played, a3, c takes, a takes, takes, and bishop takes, not pawn. And I know you know why. If pawn, it makes his bishop really bad. So if you're wondering that, you thought about it, good choice not to. But actually the computer did like that move, so very different for sure. So that's kind of odd. The computer actually liked the taking with the pawn. I think it's because if I'm not mistaken, I think it's because it connects the structure. Even though this bishop kind of at the moment is not as powerful, later on it could be with e4. So just keep that in mind. You can always take with the pawn, so you don't always have to just take with the bishop. because oh, I know now, it makes perfect sense. The computer, it likes both, but this is more of a weakness. That's kind of, I guess, why the computer didn't prefer preferred the taking rather than with the pawn than the bishop on move 9. So queen takes. Yeah, Sergey should have taken. He would have surrendered his good bishop, but if you look at Wesley's structure on the king side, it's wrecked. So, and Sergey just has to push get his king out of the way and bring the rooks in, and he's still fine. He even has scope here. So, you have to decide sometimes if you're willing to give up the bishop. So he did move his king, which was correct. And now the bishop has to go back, and it does. Knight d5. And if Wesley could trade off this bishop here, he can win a pawn. So the knight has to come. I don't know. I might play here, play there, and then potentially at this point take. I kind of see the takes, and then probably knight to a6 is forced. Oh, maybe not knight a6. So, oh, nice. Okay. Okay, so the bishop, so he's gonna take here. Okay, I gotcha. He'll take here, knight takes, and then rook to c. Okay, and then here, and then if he takes there, you take. King takes, and interesting scenario. Probably more drawish than anything. The grandmasters could have converted this to a draw. The only problem is black has less space because king's cut off the side of the board. The difference is white's king is more active, and black can't really bring his king in. He'll have to go here and then in something like that. So let's see what we did here. Bishop retreats back rather than knight. Oh. Wow, Wesley actually had a slight advantage here. Still equal. Let's see, what's the computer like? Huh. That's different than bishop takes, pawn takes, and rook takes. Oh, interesting. He loses a... wow. That is not a fun move. Oops. Oops, where did I go wrong? What did I do here? Oh, snap. Hold on, let me check something out. I apologize, guys. Somehow it promoted to a different different line. I want to make sure. Come on, don't lag on me now. Come on, don't lag on me now. Let's see. Oh no, I think we're okay. Let's make sure. I'll import the game, and we'll again, and I'll see what move we're on. Oops. So we're on move 14. We'll see if move 14 is right. Oops. I gotta turn it to black side of the board again. I forgot that it was on white. Okay. Okay, somehow there was a line that was missed on this here, so this must have to be promoted to the let me see. Hold on, guys. So D2 F6. Let me see. D so D2 F6. Okay, and then what I could do is find out at the very bottom. So move 40 B5. Let me see if that's right. Yeah. Okay. So we're on the right track. I'll just keep that there just in case it goes astray, and maybe something was deleted by accident. So Wesley, remember what we talked about? He had an advantage with oops, I gotta turn on the computer. A6. And if he plays here and takes, he could play, Sergi could play there. Then now you have a pretty big attack coming down the pike with this bishop. And you have a pretty good push with F6. Excuse me. So, but he played F6 instead, which basically made it a 0 instead of any advantage that he had for himself. Because it's kind of hard to see knight A6 because it doesn't make practical sense. But if you think about it, it does in some circles. If you think about it, this does double attack the pawn, so it does threaten the ability to win a piece. But potentially, I want to see what happens there. Okay, so he takes. Okay, so that's actually good for. Okay, I just wanted to see. So F6 was played. Excuse me. Knight C4. Rook D8. A. H C1. Knight comes in. So they were saying to push here, but that actually helps black because it allows infiltration. So the computer changed his mind, and bishop E4 is what Karyakin played. So knight takes, bishop takes, knight takes, bishop takes, A B8, and he took. The rook went. Whoa. What in the world? That's odd. Well, I'll switch to this one on 22. Sorry about that, guys. So, I'm glad we didn't delete that one. So the rook came up, and it's pinning the bishop. So the knight comes to A5 for white, and to protect it twice, because it's being attacked twice. And the knight comes in, it's attacking the rook. So potentially Wesley could win a pawn. The rook goes to D1. Knight takes the pawn. So it's equal material. So when takes, and then rook E8, and it should eventually go to a draw, because yes, white's rook and knight are active. There's really no infiltration. The best point, even if he tries here, oops, I gotta turn on the engine. You can play here, and the knight has to go back, so then you have a pawn push, and you could get your knight back involved and kind of kick this rook out. So that's what Wesley does, and in comes the knight. The king's got to be very careful not to come here. Oh, come on, there we go. Because of a little surprise called a fork. Boom, baby, and it's a sad state. Come on, come on. Why are you lagging on me? Why is it lagging on me? Come on. Oh, I'm sorry. That's funny. That was just me. You didn't move there. That's silly. I'm sorry, guys. It was white to move. Duh. Okay. And so that's just what you have to be careful of. So that's why F4 was played and not the king moving there, because of a surprise. And there's like tactics from scratch. This is called the base pawn of a fork. If the king goes here, this is the base, because the knight goes to b5 and then it forks a7 and d4. So the king moves, e4 takes. Best is actually taking here, because you do have that. So, and then you have a check here, so you have to move the king. And Karyakin's structure is better, so the knight moves. Rook here is best, and then if takes, pawn takes, and then takes, and it's an equal position. Wesley plays h4, trying to see if he can't get some defenders on the king. Knight f3, rook c8, and rook c8 is actually strong. King wants to b, and king, that's actually a mistake. What he should play is up here, and if that's played, you just move the rook over, and what it does is it allows the king kind of to escape the imprisonment of the back rank. And this should end up becoming a perpetual, because otherwise what's going to happen is Karyakin's going to lose one of these pawns, and it's not going to be fun for him having to defend the entire game against Wesley So. But this was an error, because it allowed the king to come in. Now there is no real exit points for the king to escape. G5 was played, which is again not the best move. This isn't the best move either, so they both kind of played inaccurate moves. He took, and then brought. He's trying to get his rook active and somehow get his king going, potentially up that way. And maybe he could follow the principle of if he can get rid of all of Karyakin's pawns, these pawns here, he just would have to trade off rooks. So if he can get this gone, it would be a draw. So sometimes you could save a game if you know in-game principles. If you can get rid of all your opponent's pawns even though you're down a knight, there's a high likely chance you can draw the game. So just keep that in mind. And Wesley resigned, which was kind of odd. I didn't understand why. He should have just kept fighting on a little bit. He had enough to basically maybe continue with his king, and you know what, just always continue to fight on. Just remember that. Okay, we'll go into puzzles now. Just remember, keep fighting. Don't give up. Okay, so this knight moved from C to E5. So when it moved, it gave up that square, that square, that square, that square, that, and that. So those were the squares that were given up. Also, it was kind of forced though, because we pushed to kind of make him go. And by doing that, we actually surrendered a point. So we gave up a point for his knight to infiltrate into. Let's see here. If we play knight takes knight, there, bishop. Sorry, knight takes knight, and if bishop takes, we push here. If he goes back there, trying to see if we can't trap a bishop. Because this bishop is kinda, because there's knights here, it's close to being trapped. Excuse me. Let's see here. Bishop takes. You could attack the bishop there. And if he checks, you move. Potentially could take that, so just trying to see, is there any way we can take advantage of that? It's an awkward move because you're putting a piece, yes, it's on an outpost, but it's just so awkward how it's positioned. We have to get rid of this knight because it's attacking our pawn here, so I'm just trying to see, is there any way he potentially might take there so he gets a flying square for his bishop. No, I'd love to play here, but the only problem is that. So, Snikes. That's a pain. Let's see, what do we got here? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? If you guys have any ideas on here, I'd be much appreciated for your help. Okay, if we play here, bishop takes. You can push for an attack. He retreats back. It's one move from castling. So he takes. I could take back there. Trying to see if I can't trap this bishop here. It's so close to being trapped. So close. So very close. Yeah. So what I was thinking that he'll take here, and that might be the idea. I agree with you on that. Just trying to figure out. Sometimes you have to sacrifice a little bit to get a position where you're winning. So I was thinking something like knight here, there, and then when he retreats back here, we play there, and then we win a piece. Yeah, that's actually kind of what I was thinking is here. But this is the only problem, because if we go here, he'll take back, and then he'll have a free bishop. Yeah, that's the only problem. Well, we do have that. We do. Okay, if we play here, he plays there. We play here. If he takes here, we have queen check. Ooh, that does win a piece for us, yeah. And if we play there, we actually win a piece because we can come here with check. Because he'll have to take. Let's see if we play here. He retreats back. We play here. He plays there, and then we play there, and we win the bishop. So more likely he's going to play here. If we play there, he's going to play here. Then we play there, check, and we win a piece. So probably play back, then we'll win the bishop. And then you play here, check. Then you take the knight. There you go. There we go. And I'll show you the other line too. If he moves back here, which is an inferior line, you play there. He plays here. Oh, you could. Okay, I was thinking playing there, but that actually makes sense. Then you take here, and the bishop's going to take, and then you take, and something similar to this type of line. More likely, this is what will arise, and then he'll castle, and then you break the center. Yeah, we did a good job for sure. I knew there was something involved because you can't just plant a knight there without any consequences. So you guys got to remember that, even though it looked like outposted, that was you could punish those type of I'm sorry, I mean you could take advantage of those type of awkwardly placed knights. Yeah. Just one second, I'm gonna grab a drink of water. Ooh, are you talking about the prior one? Are you talking about back here? Bishop h3. Yeah, if we go bishop, oops, one second. We'll get this take a look at. Yeah, if he plays here, which is what he does, if we play here, the bishop will actually, I believe, take the knight, and then the pawn takes, then something like that. And then he actually wins a pawn in this scenario, and this knight that wasn't there before, we don't have a check. Oh, you're thinking about that line. Okay, I gotcha. I see. Okay. Okay, I see what you're saying. Then here, then H. I think you still get the same type of move sequence. It's just, I think what the computer was thinking, it just exposes your king a little more than the other line. It's the same thing. Something similar like this. It's just very similar. Oh, you're thinking, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, bishop takes. Oh, I gotcha. I see what you're saying. Oh, there we go. Knight takes, and then bishop takes. Okay, yeah. Okay, I forgot about there was actually that second line that could be played. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, something similar to this. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of, and then then he takes here and there, and you win a piece. Yeah. And then yeah, so you're saying takes there, and whatever he plays, if he plays back here, we play there. If he plays here, we actually play here. So if he plays here, we play there and we trap the bishop. If he plays here, we trap the bishop. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You get a structure similar to this, and it was kind of, then you can later on, after he'd probably have to castle, then you could play like queen up here with a kind of threat of mate there, so you just got to be careful. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That was a secondary line, but the computer chose that other line, which I guess is not, which gives it not as bad of a positional disadvantage, I think. They usually, yeah. No, you're fine. Hey, you know what? We're learning, and it's good that we go over those lines. No, the bishop covers it, but it still doesn't. It really doesn't have the same. It's see because the knight doesn't take, it's trapped. The bishop's trapped either way. It doesn't matter if the bishop takes there. It still is a trapped piece, and it's really odd. That was a losing position. That knight move really sunk that player's boat when he did that. Like in uh, the submarine one, Battleship. That's kind of where I got sunk the boat from, the Battleship game. Let's see here. One second. I'm just gonna get another drink of water. A lot better. Okie dokie. Let's see, what do we got here? Okay, so bishop up there takes, okay. So bishop f6. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Back here, let's take a look at that, because it's always good to go over lines. That's what Maurice Ashley said, which is you should try to go over as many lines in the position as you can. Like, yeah, if you take here and then it's playing here bishop f6 and then pawn takes, and I think you lose a bishop at this point, and then you take there, and f6 is a potential idea for the king to kind of get to, but you still actually in that scenario lose a you lose a bishop either way in that scenario. That's the hard thing about not you have to make sure that the move you make has no error consequences. Let's see here, there, and there, and there, and then rook takes. Ooh, but he's got bishop takes, so we probably have to take with the king. So here, there, 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 king takes, check. Yeah, I don't really see any consequences to that move. Let's see. See if we take here, what can he play? If he tries there, we just win the knight, and so we still, and then we actually win that knight. Yeah, so he's not going to play there. That'd be a silly move, because if we played here, he played there, you could actually take there and win that knight, and then even if he takes there, you could take back. So very different for sure in that position. Trying to see, is there any consequences to that move? You always have to look at the consequences to a move and make sure that you're not walking into a 3 to 4 or 5 move, nothing but pain and agony of an attack. I don't really see anything, so I like that move. I don't see any okay, he plays there. Any sitch taking there. If we take there, he takes here. If we take there, he only check he has is there. He can't bring his queen there because we guard it twice. So he does have rook there, but I doubt that does anything. So let's just. Oh, really, really, huh? What am I missing here? What did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss? No. Oh, snap. I missed that the bishop was under attack. Well, that just got. Let's do that one again, because that was a cool one. Yeah, he just got obliterated on that one. And then if he takes here, we take there, and we actually, after rook takes, we can just take this pawn, and it's like, wow. Okay, that's okay. That's fine. Not a problem. Not a problem. I didn't see that that bishop was under fire there. That was my bad there. Okay, let's see here. There's this and that. So here, here, there, here, here. Then we can double up and start a battery attack on the king and win that. Is there anything better besides... besides here and there? We could play here, here, over. We get the same result though. Not sure if we want to hold on to... We could hold on to that a little longer with here, there, over. And then if he tries something like that, we just come here. He plays up there, there. Then he takes from here up. And then we can actually slide over and potentially win that pawn. And we'd have two rooks. He'd have one rook and an extra pawn, but that's not much. So I think that'd still be winning. But I'm kind of wondering if we don't, because this rook moved off this file, so I'm thinking that we have to instantly I'm thinking that we actually have to play there, because when they surrender a file like that, we can take it over. Even if he takes here, we go from c7 to c8. That's really the best that I see. Even if he takes here, that doesn't matter because he'll take there. And even if he tries kind of to get in behind the pawn, we can just move our rook over and we're behind that pawn, and there's no way he can stop us from winning that. So it's a one endgame. We get a rook for a pawn. So, and also our this pawn's pinned, so he really can't get his majority going and get his candidate pawn moving down the board. I guess he could, but then we can just move up our rook, and what does he really accomplish? Nothing. We can move up and come over and guard there. So d6. I was thinking that is an interesting move, but the only sitch is you have to look at like Maurice Ashley says, the Aikido, what was left behind with each move, and the rook once guarded this whole file, and since it no longer guards the file and we want to get our rook to this point here, the only move that allows us to do that is rook to c7. That otherwise what he'll do is, if we try something like this, he potentially could actually go back here and guard our infiltration point on h8. Yeah, so that has to be the best. And now this is a sitch. Let's see if we... Okay, he pushed... I was wondering if he was going to take rather than do that. I didn't think he was going to do that. I thought he was going to take here. That's a very awkward move. And that left... If you want to think of what did this pawn leave behind? It left behind the d4 square. So potentially we can move our rook to d4. But what it's thinking is that he can push onward here and win the the pawn. So maybe best move is no, we can't do that. Then he could win there. Drat. Man, this is a pain in the drain. I'd love to play there, but he has that. But if we played here, and he played there, and then we played there, and then he played rook takes, we could just play our king to g1, and he still has to surrender the rook anyways. So yeah. Maybe that might work. Let me see here. There, takes, push. We could play check there. And then queen. That is an interesting idea. And if the king moves there, you just queen. That is interesting. So more likely the forced line would be here. And basically we're just demolishing him. So he'd actually have to take in that scenario, and then we queen with check. Then we always could bring our queen back here to guard that pawn and protect the queening. Is that the most forcing line though? Because there's also, if we play here, there's also that he plays here. So here, there, rook takes. I like that idea. I'm just not sure if makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense, that line does. Yeah, I like that line. I'm not sure though if it... Oh, wow. Nice. Wow. That keeps this pawn from moving. Guards there. This is a multitude of idea move right there. Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's interesting. If he plays there, he's gonna try here, and then we take. So, yeah, that's kind of a messed up one. That's different for sure. That's basically in the Keto more likely a waste of time move. So that was a good one. Yep. We're using the mind that the Lord's given us to see that. That was a good find there. Wow. A lot of different lines in that scenario for sure. Oh, E3? Okay, gotcha. Let's check that. Yeah, that's just smashing of a line. Wow. Yeah. Let's go over that line one more time. Wow, it says going. I like going up better than over. That's kind of what it is. Did I answer your question okay? All right, perfect. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, what it does is it gets it off of a check from the rook, the back rank check, which would allow the pawn to advance. So, yeah. The computer didn't know, or the engine didn't know which one was better. I think like what you're saying, they're equal. So, okay. So he's probably gonna play check there. If we play here, he'll play check there. Come over, check, up. And then he'll come here and that'll be mate. Ouch. We don't want that. That's not a fun way to get checkmated. No, 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 no. And we can't play here because that lands us checkmate as well. Can't play back here. Well, I guess we could. Comes up. Bishop checks. Yeah, I was looking at that, but I'm not exactly sure if he can't just smack that off the board with his bishop. So it's a double attack. Yeah, I like that idea. I do. I was thinking of that, but this is the only move that stops it, and that's the pain. That's the only not fun. Oh, wait a second. He can't take. My bad. We can actually take there. Huh? Snikes. We actually win a piece, don't we? Huh? Interesting. Wow. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. That does hold, doesn't it? Huh? Hmm. Hmm. That surely is an interesting move. So you'd have to play here at that point. What's our continuation? Oh, we could play rook there at that point. Oh, Nikes. That's, yeah. And then we win a rook, don't we? Sweet. You gotta love that, for sure, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, if he plays here, you play, I believe that's the move. And I don't really see anything potentially more than he could do. So he's taking and he loses, so yeah. That's just crushing. So he has to kind of, in that scenario, surrender. That's the best in that. Yeah, that's a. Because what you're doing is you're with this scenario, if the queen goes to G5, you're using the pin. You're attacking it twice, and if the king moves, you can just take with your queen, and the queen, if the queen takes, pawn takes, you're still up in exchange. F5. Well, F5 has one sitch. I think it's still good. Huh. Yeah, that still works. Wow. Yeah, that still works too. Yeah. Yeah, that still works as well. Mhm. The other line though just has one thing involved. It doesn't allow for this to have a passer. Your line's right as well, but just one difference. There is no let me see here. Or sorry, not that. Queen takes, my bad there. And if queen takes, okay. I think in this scenario, the only difference is you're right. The pawn is saved. You're up a whole bishop. There's a pawn here. The difference is you have a rook in the end. That's all. Yeah, it's just the difference. Yeah, and it's the difference between a 6-pawn advantage, still winning because you still have a pawn here at the end of the scenario, which stops. I believe. Let me go back to see if that line's. Let's see. We'll check the F line. Okay, here. Let me see if that's right. Check. Let me see. Check. Queen takes. Okay. The only difference is this here. He has an outside passer. I think that's the reason the computer kind of didn't like it, was he has an outside pass pawn, but we have we're actually faster, so even if he plays here, we can play here. We tries getting that going. We play up here. If he takes here, and we push. If he tries, we just take. So yeah. You know what? That's perfect. That's what Morris Ashley said to do, is to try to find all lines in the puzzle. That'll actually help you help a player with their tactical calculation. So that is good that we go over those sub lines as well. Because there are other lines that you can go down. I guess I'm I like more of the crushing lines, I guess. I like more of the smash. But there are moves there, the one that we did look at, the second one, does is more of a positional line. It still works. You have a bishop, and the bishop could potentially sacrifice itself for those two pawns, and then you have a majority on I think it was the queen side. We would have won most definitely. We had a candidate pawn. So that was actually a good find. That was a really good find. It just wasn't what the computer wanted. That was it. That's all. Let's see here. So it takes. Okay, dokie. Hmm. Ouch. If we play here, the queen comes there. We move. Bishop takes, and then we'd have to retreat our bishop back, kind of to guard the checkmate square. But I don't really see anything better in that scenario than that. So, one sec, I'll be right back. Okay, let's see here. Boy, this is a crazy line. Potentially, though, let's see if we played here, here, there, and there. We do have rook that slides over, which attacks the queen, so then the queen would have to retreat out, and then we could take. I think it's here, 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 there, and there, there, and we win. So I believe that's the first move sequence. Wow, he took back with that, huh? Wow. Huh. Thought for sure he was going to bring his queen in. Yeah. You can't really push because of that. Ooh, what am I thinking? Boom, baby. There you go. What was I thinking? That's a cincher. I want to see if there's any flaws in that. I think we have to because he'll take here if we don't. We have to be fast attacking here. So I'm thinking this does do one thing though. It guards here and there. So there is no and the worst that he can do is here. And then we just move. Hey, how you doing, Loki? Uh, that makes sense too. There's two ideas, actually three ideas we had. Here, there, or there. I'm not sure if the computer would like that, because I don't think the computer's more of a brutal. Oh, excellent. We're getting our rating built back up a little bit, so we're slowly getting better, so. We're on our goal to 2,500, and we'll get there. Yep. That is interesting. Didn't think about that. If we took here, he played there. I think we can retreat our bishop back to guard, but we'd be in full guarding at that point, though. Ugh. I don't know if the computer likes that. I kind of now see your idea here. Huh. No, it's not bad. Excuse me. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that because taking opened up this here, so I'm just thinking if here and then he plays over, we can actually take here, king takes. Always sitches he's got there. I was thinking about something like this here, and then queen takes, and then if he tries checking, we can just move our knight there, and I'm not sure if we if it's good for us or not. That's an idea. So that is what I'm thinking. I kind of like that idea. Oops, I was wrong. You're kidding me. You were right. Wow. Snikes. Yep, you were right on that. That was truly the problem. Wow, good. That I can't believe it. That was a great find there. Wow, I didn't see that defensive. Nice. Yeah, because there's even if he takes here, you just take back. Yeah. Okay. Well, it shows you sometimes it's all about a defensive move. There. Wow. 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 Let's see here. See, check. King goes up. First you check, and after up you push, and then he'll try to either get here. I should try to get there, and then okay. So we do have enough time to get in behind here and get this going. Yeah. First of all, check, king up, push, rook there, rook takes, pawn push, rook slides over behind the pawn, and then we win. There's no way of stopping this from queening. So first you check, then you push. Whoa. Well, only move now. Okay. Let's see here. Well, the only problem, he could actually get in behind, so let's see. If we play here, so we have to play back down. And then... I think we queen at this point. Yeah, the only reason the e-pawn doesn't work at this moment is he could check. We move back. Well, oh, I guess we. Oops, my bad there. Sorry. The only reason that this doesn't is he can. I'm sorry, right here, and there's really no way of stopping. He can block this, and then that queens. So you first have to get a intermediate move or intermezzo check, and then once he moves, then it's he only has this. You move back, he moves there, and then you queen, and then he takes, and then this is actually what I saw further. If he goes here, you go there, and then this will he'll take there, and then you start your push. No, you're fine. Hey, you know what? It all goes back to endgame studies, and we're also going to start after we do the candidate marathon. We're going to go into endgame studies because that's where a game could be saved or lost, and maybe even won if you play it correctly. Your opponent might even blunder the entire game away if they don't know endgame principles. And we're going to use Jeremy Selman's endgame book. And it's going to kind of seem very, remedial, beginning, because we're going to start at the very beginning of the book, level rating 99, unrated all the way to rating 99, and then we'll work up through his book to master, grandmaster rating or master rating. So we're going to start at the basics and build from there. So it's ground up. Oh, not a problem. Let me see here. We'll go back and we'll take a look at that because it's always good to we'll just see, because it's good to so your idea was, my thought was, okay, e6, rook c8, interesting. Rook f5, that's an idea. Knight and cover. Yeah, but then he actually covers that square here, and you could play here, but then he takes. Yeah. That was a good line. It's just he had a temporary. We needed one move, so it's okay. It's good that we went over it, because sometimes if you see it, then you can visualize and get more out of a learning experience. It's never a mistake. It's always a learning experience. Let's see here. So what my teacher told me was, they're all learning. You learn from everything. We call it a mistake, but excuse me, we call it a mistake, but it's not. It's just a new way of learning something. Let's see here. If we play there, snap. Let me see. Drat. This would be nice if somehow we could. Let's see here. Huh, did we take there? Oh, interesting. We'd be up a whole night at that. Huh. Interesting, to say the least. Let's see. Let's see though. I think here, knight takes. Let's see. Here takes. Knight takes would probably be the move that he would play. He wouldn't trade off his other rook. Oh, wait a second. He might, because then he gets the surprise of his life with a knight check there. Yeah, I think he would go for that line. Because if we played here, knight takes, you drop the surprise of the life on him, and you win the bishop. You play queen takes at that point. Queen takes, knight takes, and you're up a whole piece. You're up a whole knight at that point. So he has to after, yeah. I believe that. I believe you're right on that. That has to be the. And then you take here, yeah. First you take there. Then you take. And then you drop. Ew. Oh, wait. We could take here, then check. You gotta love it when a plan comes together. That's why tactics are puzzles on LIchess.org is very important, that they should be emphasized more for learning rather than playing, because you learn so much from these. These are actually from games, from players who actually played on LIchess.org. So indirectly you are playing a game, because you're playing a move from the person who is playing at this moment. So if you think of it that way, then you are playing, you're playing history if you think about it out. And history is cool. Well, we're doing good. We're all doing good. We're improving. Yep, you did. You did for sure. That was a good one. There were so many different lines. Maybe after this one we'll go back and I'll show you the surprise of his life if he doesn't do it properly. Now let's go back and do the surprise of his life. I like that one here. Okay, well, because I want you guys to see how beautiful this one move is. If he rather than takes with a knight, if he takes knight takes, we drop the surprise and he goes here, and then we take with. No, we don't want to take with our. We want to take with the knight, not the queen. Yeah, take with the knight, and then now you're up a whole piece. And this is more likely what he would play. Then you take there, here, and then you take with your knight, and now you got like a winning game. And then you check, he comes up, and you check, he comes, and then you probably would have to retreat back here, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yeah, that's more likely. Then the king comes in, and you check, and then you probably want to bring your you could take a pawn at that point. Kind of be a little greedy, a little greedy. But the majority of the players would do all the rook exchange and all that because they don't really want to go into that type of a line. Oh, okay, there we go. Better. Okay, had to stretch for a second there. Okay, let's see, what do we got here? King moves over. If we take the rook, what do we lose if we do this here? Let me see. Do. I don't think it's about winning material because potentially it might be, but I really doubt it. Let's see, what did he? Okay, so he took the pawn there. Okay, so he took pawn here, check, king there. So his idea must be either something like bishop, queen here, with a potential maybe idea like that. So like something like here, here, there, knight takes, check, or not check, but pin, and then we win that. So it might be something similar to that. Not sure if yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any any scenario move. Maybe we actually could play after we take here, there, and then we could take back and we win a lot. But I doubt that that's what would be, because I believe he's considering taking here. So we really can't check there. Well, if we played here and he took, we could play actually queen takes at that point. I think he's kind of stuck at that point. And that also helps us to get our knight out. So if we played here, he took there, we then can now reroute our knight out. Or potentially even bring our queen in for a check, king moves, and then smack. We win a piece, another piece. And then he comes up here and then smack, we win the rook. And it's just like devastating at that point. Let's see, if we take there. Is there any way we can like win a queen or anything? I don't think. I think we have to take the rook, if I'm not mistaken, because that was his idea. Yeah, I don't really see anything better than taking the rook, so let's start with that. And then queen takes. Really, you're joking me. You're kidding me. You're kidding me. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yikes. Why doesn't that work? Oh, it's probably because it traps the... Okay. Okay, the queen would have to... Okay. Snikes. I think then when we play here, we then can move up there. So you still have to play there. Okay. Snikes. Okay. Yeah, ouch. That's not fun. So a lot of those silent king moves. Trying to see if we don't push here. He takes there, there. He takes. We come here. Or we come here, sorry. Okay, let's see. Okay, if we push here, he stays there. We put, he takes here. We push there. He takes there. We push here. If he comes up here, we take, he takes, and then queen. I think that's it. That was my fault on that mistake on taking with the queen. So, because we're gonna lose these pawns here, so this goes into endgame principle. We get a passer, and he's kind of stuck. If he plays here, he allows us to get in and kind of do some checks here to remove him. So here, there, there. Or I might try to get this going. So here, then we just take. What do you think, guys? I'm thinking C2. If he takes here. He's actually almost checkmated at that point too, so if he tries being a little greedy, and he tries that, that's mate. So trying to see, we don't take the bishop yet. We take with check, intermediate move. He comes here, we take, king takes, then we take here. Or we could, do we take there though? Snikes. Boy, this is interesting. I think I'm sure we take here. I know that for a fact. And then we have to take there. We have to keep one pawn on the board. Yeah. Neutralize. That makes sense. Neutralize this pawn. Yeah, okay. Wow. Yikes. think we'll probably do one or I know we could do one. I'll say we could do one. I'm not sure how long this one's gonna take before I gotta log. Boy, my head feels like ooh. These were a lot, but they're fun. I really enjoyed doing puzzles, so I gotta say, yeah, that was a tricky ending, but it's winnable because we have a bishop, and bishops dominate both sides of the board. We'll soon learn that in Jeremy Silman's Endgame book after we're done with the candidate marathon. One second, grab a drink. Alright, there we go. Alrighty then. Yeah, that makes sense. Smack. Boom, baby. That is the drawback to this move, is it loses the protection of that knight. Thinking about bringing our thinking about playing knight e4. The only problem is knight e4, pawn takes, queen, check, knight goes. No, I think we win if we do knight f4, pawn takes, check, intercepts, and then queen comes there as mate. And then here, bishop takes, knight takes. Maybe we just retreat our knight out. Sometimes it's just a retreating move. Okay, let's take a look there. Takes, takes, there. We also could just retreat out, and then play bishop. So here, here. Yeah, I'm trying to see if we can make the rook takes work, but I don't know. Kind of liking there, in my opinion. It covers this spot here, or here. Then if takes, we could take back and we got mate. So I'm kind of liking this, then takes here, and then we then we have our infiltration. But I do see we have a double attack there, so he's got two pieces attacking. So we might actually have to kind of by force remove that rook. I mean that knight for our rook. By force, it might be a necessity. But if we do here, and he does take, we take here, we take here, and then we could play queen there, threatening mate and winning. So if we can actually come crushing in through there. And if he plays here, if we play there, takes or the bishop we take, we still come crashing through. Well, maybe not, now that we think about it. Well, we could take, okay. Same situation. If he takes here, we can actually take back. And then we bring our queen in. And we're threatening mate at that point. Then we can actually play there and mate. Maybe not. Huh. So G4. Yeah, I'm trying to see. I believe it is best. Let me see. There, and then at that point we can bring our knight in. But then he has rook. Oh, he doesn't have a rook there anymore, does he? No. And then we can bring our queen in. No, we can't bring our queen in. Snap. See this knight right here is the sitch. We could just sack it for to bring in our piece, but I don't know if I like the sack there. Man, this is a we're probably just overcomplicating this. There's something that we're overcomplicating this. I know we are, because this is a very straightforward puzzle. We just have to think principle, like tactical principle. Yeah, I was looking at that. That is a potential idea. So rook takes here, there. If it comes here, we just snap it off. He comes there. We bring down checkmate. Yeah, I think you're right on that. Yeah. Because then takes. So that's a bad move. Okay, we infiltrate in. Okay. Wow. That's crushing. Great job, guys. We'll do one more and then we'll log. Then I unlog. I'll give it one more. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look. Let's see. That's just me. Okay. Hold on. Gotta take off my sweater. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay. What are we missing? Let's see if we play knight takes, pawn, knight takes. Doesn't give us anything. He's got this ginormous majority over here. So yeah, we couldn't put a bishop here. That would trap the knight. Because a bishop 2 pawns away from the knight takes away all of its points. If the bishop was here. Oh boy. Let's see here. What was the drawback to that move? I really only see that it was once guarding here, so that's an idea. If he plays there. You do like smashing, that's for sure. You gotta love it. I really don't see any lines after if we take there. And if we play there, he just comes over here, so I don't know if we get anything. But remember, he could bring his rook over too. So we have to kind of keep that in the forefront of our thought pattern. Hmm. So here, there. No, that doesn't work because he can then just take our knight. No, that doesn't work. I think it has to do with G6, knight takes, and then if we can then check because it frees up our rook. And so if he comes up here, actually, see if we play G6, knight takes F7, check, and so if he comes, let's say here, we come back over here and we win the queen. Well, this gains us a huge amount of an attack. We win a piece in this scenario, I believe. So here, 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 and if he comes over here, we slide over and we checkmate him with our queen. So if we play here, he moves here, takes there, sorry, check. He comes, we'll say here, we bring back there, check. And then he asked if he blocks with the queen, we just play rook takes, and then we can win the knight back, and we're up a whole queen. I think it's G6. Let's see here, there, there, here. Yeah, we'll stop here. Good job, guys. Okay, thank you all for coming on and helping. We're doing good. We'll get to that 2400 tomorrow. So, guys, keep doing cool, keep doing good, keep studying. You know what? We're gonna do Wesley So game 8 tomorrow, and so on the candidates, and then we'll do some more tactics. And you know what? Keep getting better and better. That's the whole thing, getting better. And remember, you always gotta keep learning from your mistakes, because and then they're not a mistake, they're a learning lesson. And what then you got to do is then find the plan. Just be patient. Don't force a move that isn't there, and make sure it works. Like you guys are doing that already. You guys are really making huge jumps in your chest growth. So good job on that. And so with that, as Wesley So says, serve the Lord Jesus. And as I say, God bless, guys. And I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Be blessed. Have a blessed night or morning. And keep studying chess and using your mind for the Lord. I'll see you guys tomorrow.